Hi, my name is Chukandune Soku. I'm a microbiologist and a stem cell therapy enthusiast. Today I want to talk about the latest revolution in the field of medicine that is going to transform the world forever, the world as we know it, That revolution is none other than stem cell therapy. It promises to cure every form of incurable disease in the human body. Before now, there has been a handful of revolutions in the field of medicine that has transformed the world as we know it. And I'm talking about antibiotics, vaccinations, separation of Siamese twins, surgery, anesthesia, the ability to look inside of the human body without opening it up. That's in the case of X-ray, These revolutions have basically transformed the world so much that, many of us millions could have died if not for these revolutions. And today we are blessed to be alive in an age where we are entering into the next medical revolution. And that revolution is none other than stem cell medicine or stem cell therapy, or you can call it regenerative medicine. I'm sure you must have heard or seen adverts about stem cell therapy and how it has the potential to cure diseases such as diabetes, stroke, cancer, fibroid, infertility, partial blindness, epilepsy, and other autoimmune diseases. Name them. So yeah, this video is me educating you on what stem cell therapy is and how you can best better your health and that of your loved ones with this new revolution in medicine. So what are stem cells and how do they cure all diseases and all sicknesses? So stem cells, they are not drugs or chemical compounds just like paracetamol or the regular supplements we see around. No, stem cells are the basic building blocks of the cells of our body. They are found in every human, plant, and animal. So they are the basic repair and growth mechanism of the body. Without stem cells, we can't live beyond like the first day we were born, As a baby grows, these stem cells continue to divide, forming more stem cells and enhancing cell growth, which will eventually lead to tissue growth and organ growth. So like I said, the stem cells have the capacity to produce more stem cells and also become any of the 200 cells of the human body. Example of these cells are the muscle cells, the nerve cells, the heart cells, the red blood cells, the liver cells, the pancreatic cells, the white blood cells, and many more. Name them. So these stem cells the stem cells of the blood will basically produce various cells of the blood, which are, for example, the red blood cells, the white blood cells, the plasma, the platelets. The stem cells of the pancreas will produce pancreatic cells, which aid in the production of insulin. So the big question now is, if our bodies have stem cells and the ability to produce them for the repair of the cells of the body, why then do we need stem cell therapy? So, can't our body just continue to produce these stem cells and then continue to heal us? Well, it will interest you to know that the older we get, the more the numbers of the stem cells we have in our body reduce. That's why older people do not heal as fast as younger people or infants. As we get older, diseases like stroke, liver problems, arthritis, cancer, and the rest, they begin to arise. And all of that is because the stem cells are becoming inactive and weaker. So let me use an example, like an analogy. So a stem cell is more like, the human stem cell in the body is like, let me call it a bank. When you're born, you have a stem cell bank. And then for the repair of injury, for the repair of the cells, for sickness and all of that, you keep withdrawing from that bank for repair. You withdraw one part per billion, 1 part per million, because that's how stem cells are measured. They're measured in parts per million, parts per billion. You keep withdrawing and you keep withdrawing till the point where you are at 0 or you're just around 100, and it's not enough to heal. Let's say at the age of 50, you have spinal cord injury, and that 100 is not enough to heal you. So at that point, the cells don't have enough stem cells to regenerate and replace the dying or the dead cells. So basically that is what happens, and then you get sick and you take other drugs that are just to manage you, and after that the person dies, and the person you say, at 65 someone dies or at 70 someone dies. But that's because the stem cells are all gone. So they are the basic conductors of the healing system of the human, of the human body. The stem cells in our body, is what we call in science, mesenchymal stem cells. So the mesenchymal stem cells, they trigger these, drug-like compounds that stimulate tissue healing. The mesenchymal stem cell possesses the ability to become any cell in the body. So like in a stem cell in the body, we have hemopoietic stem cells and we have mesenchymal stem cells. The hemopoietic stem cells are they divide into plasma, blood, plasma, and blood cells. That's where they stop. But the mesenchymal stem cells, these are the guys that have the miracle, So if you take the mesenchymal stem cell and inject into a damaged or injured knee, it will basically proliferate and produce, to form chondrocytes, which will in turn form the cartilage cells and tissues of the knee. So the biggest question of them all is, what are the various types of stem cell therapy and what are their mode of application, in the treatment of diseases? So we basically have three major types of stem cell therapy. We have the embryonic stem cell therapy, we have the adult stem cell therapy, and we have the plant-based stem cell therapy. So let me explain what the embryonic stem cell therapy is. So the embryonic stem cell therapy is a situation where when children are born, right, the umbilical cord, the amniotic fluid, the amniotic sac, all of those, they contain what we call pluripotent stem cells. These are very, very potent stem cells. So they are taken immediately and put into like the whole cooler they use for organs. And then they are taken to the lab and the stem cells are isolated from them. So you just take like a fluid from the amniotic fluid or the sac or the umbilical cord and take it after screening for genetic disorders, HIV and the rest, and you find out that that's pure. You can then inject into an old man. If the man has a spinal cord injury, you inject into his back. If he has cancer, kidney, liver problem, you inject it into that particular location. And what you find is that healing begins to occur across the body because you've put in a high dose of mesenchymal stem cells from the embryo, into that person, and healing occurs exponentially, very, very fast. Right? And then the adult stem cell therapy is where you can take fat tissues from the belly, or you can drill into the bone marrow, take the stem cells from the bone marrow, or you take the stem cells from the adipose tissue in the belly and translocate it into another part of the same person or into another part of another human body. And that's because the human body contains the stem cells, right? So you take the stem cells in a healthy person and send it to a sick person. And then that person, those stem cells begin to separate and differentiate into the cells of the particular location in the other human body where you have put it. If it's the knee, it separates and differentiates into the cartilage, the chondrocytes, and heals the knee. If it's the liver, it separates into the cells of the liver and heals the liver, and all around that way. If it's the pancreas, it goes into the pancreas and begins to produce the beta cells that produce insulin. And that is how adult stem cell works. And now we come to the most important one, which is plant-based stem cell therapy. So now, since we can basically take nutrients from plants, oranges, mangoes, and the rest, and it gives us vitality and nutrition, we can also isolate certain extracts in these plants that have the high potential to affect and increase the production of our own human stem cells. And that is where science is today. Out of 650 plant extracts, scientists have been able to isolate 27, which have high effect in the proliferation, production, the multiplication of human stem cells. That is where we are today. And now from my research and the reports on medical journals around the world, I have been able to identify a particular plant-based stem cell therapy that has shown amazing results in the management and cure of various diseases such as diabetes, stroke, liver problems, fibroid, infertility, hormonal imbalance, and the list is endless. As long as that disease is arising from the death of cells in our body, this plant-based stem cell therapy can heal the body, through replication and proliferation of our own stem cells, and more production of our own mesenchymal stem cells. And that plant-based stem cell therapy is none other than STC30. It's produced by a lab, Mibel Biochemistry, in Zurich, Switzerland, and they have been able to isolate the particular extracts from these plants, and particular stem cells from these plants that, when taken under the tongue, go straight into the bloodstream and go straight to the various places where someone is having an issue. We've had cases of stroke, diabetes, like I named before, and then goes there to begin the repair of the damaged cells and the production of more mesenchymal stem cells. Yeah, so like I said, this is STC30, the finest ingredients, the finest plant-based therapy, stem cell therapy you can find. And plant-based stem cell therapy is now recommended because the embryonic stem cell therapy is still facing some ethical issues. You know, people are very attached to the umbilical cord and the amniotic fluid and sac, all that from a woman who has just given birth, you know. And the adult stem cell therapy still requires the opening up of the human body and all of that. But this, your body does not have to be open, no operations, nothing. You just take this under your tongue, and then after it dissolves, you just take water, and you know, 1 month, 2 months, you begin to see amazing results. Yeah. So for further inquiries or purchase of STC30, you can call me on the number you find on your screen. You know, yeah. And in addition, I have also made a more scientific, medical, and molecular video report on plant-based stem cell therapy for doctors out there, nurses, scientists who would want to actually understand this on the molecular level. You know, I covered the most effective plant compounds and how they interact with the human stem cells in the healing of the body. So yeah, the link will be somewhere. So click the link below to get the video, and also the video of various testimonies we've had here in Nigeria, South Africa, in Asia, and other parts of the world, you know, where people have used STC30 for, you know, recovery from fatal diseases and all of that. So yeah, click on the link below and I will meet you on the other side. My name is Chuka, and I wish you all the best and I wish you good health. Bye.